All right. Hey, there we go.
Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Ash? How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. So I was just telling my audience, I got a special treat tonight. I'm interviewing an ADCC competitor,
Yep.
one of the top 66 kilogram grapplers in the world, Ash Williams. Very nice to meet you and to chat with you.
Nice to meet you too.
So yeah, man, I'm very excited. Everyone is excited in the jiu-jitsu world about this ADCC 2024 World Championships. I've been a fan of yours. I've seen quite a few of your matches, over the years. People may not know, but you were involved in the last ADCC,
Yep.
and you had a very, very close match with the guy that won the division.
Yeah.
I'm sure that gave you a lot of confidence. Maybe just talk to start out a little bit. Just talk about, ADCC, this camp, whatever you want to talk about it. I'm sure you're very excited. Maybe if you've made any changes or how you thought about the previous ADCC. What are your thoughts on this ADCC?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, I'm actually looking forward to this one probably a little bit more than the last one. In the last one I was on like kind of a hot streak, and I had like a lot of wins under my belt. So like loads of people were talking about me being a dark horse and causing upsets, and it's just a horrible position to be in. Really, it's a tough position because obviously everyone expects like the world from you, and it was my first ADCC, and to be honest with you, I found like I found it quite overwhelming. I found it quite overwhelming, the venue, the setup, the amount of people. And I tried so hard essentially not to get psyched up for it that I just went in like first gear essentially. Like I really didn't come out that like hot, ready to go. But I'm looking forward to this one. Obviously, the 66 division, in my opinion, is by far the toughest bracket. It's just killers everywhere, and the seeding could go very favorably, could go very, very hard. We'll see on Friday night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I feel like there's probably a lot less pressure this time, and it just lets me go out there and have a good time.
Yeah, and well, now you have ADCC experience. You've been in the show, you've been there before in the biggest one that they ever had. There were thousands and thousands of people. I'm sure many people in your division haven't done it before, so you have that edge on them. Yeah, there's killers like, the returning champ, Baby Shark is back. You're in the division. Fabricio Andre, Owen Jones is in it. He's super tough. There's tons of guys. You must be really excited to see how the drawing and the seeding goes, because if you pay attention to the past ADCCs, you could probably almost kind of predict a little bit the brackets, would you say?
Yeah, I actually think it's just such a tough one to say on that one because last ADCC, obviously, like the bracket kind of came out with the seeding of like the best guys against like the trials winners and a few other things, and then a lot of trials winners performed really well and kind of threw like a bit of a spanner in the works with regards to just doing that straight seeding. I think like obviously just looking at the bracket and just going, oh, just match those guys with these guys. Since some of the trials, some of the guys have gone on to win matches against other people within the bracket or lost matches to guys within the bracket. So I don't know if it will be as straightforward as like, because I might get a trials or a invitee. I'm not really sure. I think potentially I could get like one of the top four from last time. I'm assuming I'm going to go in as a lower seed, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and people may not know watching this, but you have a lot of competition experience. I think you've basically competed in every, major event. Right?
Yeah, I've probably amassed a couple. I think maybe over 100 matches. I actually saw Flow Grappling put a post. I'm the oldest guy in the 66 bracket. I've done about 10 years now of competing with the best guys in the world, and I think I've fought 14 or 15 ADCC vets so far with a positive record. So, I do know on my day that I'm just a tough guy to beat, and can be a nightmare for anyone really. But obviously, a lot of my wins over ADCC vets have actually come on my home turf as opposed to away turf, and I think like it does play a considerable factor in like the overall match back to back with people going like sleeping on bed, being chill, having their own food. I think, stuff like that comes into play. But yeah, for sure, I'm just looking forward to seeing who I get first round and then just take it match by match.
Yeah, that's amazing. 10 years competing against the best in the world. I have a lot of students that are just getting into competing and like just starting their first tournament or two.
Yeah.
So maybe talk a bit about like when you were starting out in competing. Were you always a killer from day one? Were you guys?
I say this all the time to anyone. Like I say, look, I actually started jiu-jitsu just for some self-defense. I'm a naturally competitive guy, and the truth is, how I got into competing against very high-level guys was I just won stuff on like the regional circuit. Then I won like the British Open Championships. Then I was like, people were like, "Oh, do you want to compete against this guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I have nothing to lose." I still remember the first kind of big match. I had an opportunity on EBI. So Eddie Bravo actually messaged me himself saying, "Oh, do you want in to EBI?" And I was like, "Man, I have no idea how I got that invite, but yeah, let's do that." And then off the back of that, Polaris invited me to compete against Imanari. And they actually phoned me and they're like, "Oh, bro, we've had someone drop out against Imanari." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Do you just need to make another match on the card? Because, I can scrap one of the local guys if you want to sell tickets or whatever." And they're like, "No, we want you to fight Imanari." And I was like, "I think you've dialed the wrong number, like I don't know what's going on here." And the truth is, I didn't really like a lot of the guys coming up now because of the access to the information and the streaming and stuff. But I couldn't watch ADCC when I was a white belt. We had to wait for like a highlight reel from Stu Cooper to come out a couple months after, and then watch that in kind of like sketchy quality, So yeah, we didn't get the access that people have got now. So I didn't really ever come up thinking like, "Oh, I'm going to be in ADCC. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." I just kind of took every chance as it came in terms of someone's going, "Oh, do you think you could compete here?" And I just go, "Well, I'm a competitive guy, so I love doing it. So let's give it a go." And yeah, the results started to come in, and then I got more opportunities, and I've kind of never looked back. And I think now the younger guys coming through, they're so hungry and so good, but their accessibility to high level things is just that much greater.
Yeah.
And there's more money in the sport, so you can get paid to do stuff. Like I remember the first year I actually came into the competition circuit after I finished university. I spent like 20K just to compete around the world. Of my own personal money, do you mean? And I made nothing back. I got a few shiny gold medals here and there, and a couple of follows on Instagram, but that was about it. So the game's changed now, and people can blow up so fast and make money, and it's super good for them. But obviously for me, I feel like not I missed the boat, but obviously I'm a little bit behind now in terms of like how fast you can rise to that level.
Yeah, and I think you're a couple years younger than me. You're like 32.
32,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
30. So yeah, kind of came up around the same time, I would say. And
Yeah.
you mentioned you competed against Imanari, old school legend.
Yeah.
I thought this would be cool. Just rank these three matches that you had, because you went against Imanari, old school legend,
Yeah.
beat him. Paulo Miao, new beat him. You also beat Carlos Condit, UFC legend. So if you had to rank those three wins in terms of like how big they were to you, how would you rank those?
Oh, Paulo for sure, I think, was the biggest one, because I've got to be honest with you, when I signed the contract, I was literally like, this is a joke. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, as in, like, I was just like, it's on my home turf. I had loads of guys in the crowd. I remember, like, backstage, putting my gear on, and I was like, boys, I think we fucked this one. I think this has gone too far. Like, we're pushing kind of the boundaries here. And to be honest with you, I do. If anyone asks me like openly, I say, look, man, his jiu-jitsu is in the gi in particular is definitely better than my gi jiu-jitsu. I played the rule set really well because I've been on that stage quite a few times. And then Imanari would be the next one for sure, because I just remember getting my first dubs on that stage, and it felt like incredible, even though he destroyed both my feet in the match, to be fair to him. And I'll be honest, I actually didn't know who Carlos Condit was when I signed the contract, so I'm not really massive into the UFC. I do watch it, but especially not the heavyweight class. I don't really watch them as much. And when I told some of my guys in my gym, they were like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" And I was like, "Oh, is it?" I was like, "Maybe it is then. Maybe it is. I don't know." But yeah, for sure, the Paulo match was an incredible moment for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't know Paulo Miao, new school legend, he's kind of done competing now.
Yeah.
But when every belt level. He won his weight class. He was competing in open weights. He beat Keenan Cornelius, I believe, at one point. Like, he's an incredible, amazing grappler. I remember seeing that result when you beat him, and I was like, what? Like, Ash Williams beat now? Like, holy shit, he must be serious, you know? Like,
me and you both.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. So now you're in ADCC. You're getting ready for ADCC 2024 this weekend. It's going to be awesome. I just thought it'd be cool to get you on and chat a little bit. I know you have another big match coming up after that just recently got announced. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Pato in the gi.
In the gi. Nice.
Yep. So I'm gonna ask one of my students to teach me how to tie my belt again, and I'm gonna give it a good old go. Yeah.
Yeah.
See if lightning can strike twice.
Amazing. And you could potentially go against him this weekend as well.
Yeah. There's a good opportunity that could happen. Obviously, I for sure rate Pato as probably one of the most dangerous guys in jiu-jitsu right now, pound for pound. To be honest with you, like his performances over the last year have been incredible. Like, hats off to him. I'm not really like obviously I don't trash talk or anything. I don't really talk next with my competitors. I just got a lot of respect for all of them. I think it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work to do what we do, and that's what I'm saying. When we go this weekend, I could get a match against him. Obviously, like, it would be cool. I know it's weird if I didn't, like, in the first round or two anyway, because obviously I'm going to compete against him in 3 weeks' time regardless. And I don't like to, not waste opportunities, but I like to compete against as many different high-level guys as I can just to get as much experience. And obviously, got a couple of years left in my career, so I just want to try and fight kind of everyone, really, as many guys as I can. Yeah,
that's amazing, man. And I think that's awesome. It's a great story. Like I said, I knew a little bit about you before, but we've never actually got to chat or something. I've sent you a message, just the odd time and stuff. You shared stories and stuff. But yeah, I think it's cool just to learn a little bit more about you and, your attitude. You seem like a very competitive guy. And I think it's really a lot of people could learn from your story. You just took advantage of all the opportunities that were in front of you, and things just kind of snowballed. And look where you're at now. You're competing in the biggest tournament in the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I always I reference the film Yes Man as one of my favorite films in terms of I just think saying yes to more opportunities is a really good thing in life to just try out. You can't guarantee it'll go your way, but you can for sure regret not taking the opportunity, which I think is the worst. Every match I've had, there's been reasons why I could have pulled out or shouldn't have competed or shouldn't have fought. And I always just think man, in 6 months' time when I look back, I'm probably gonna regret not doing it more than I regret losing, for sure. Even though I'm super competitive and I really don't want to lose, I think saying yes to more things coming your way in life will open more doors.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people can learn from that. So yeah, Ash Williams competing this weekend. Best of luck. Hopefully we can see you over in Canada. I know you had mentioned that to me. You're interested in coming over and teaching some seminars in Canada. I know a lot of people in Canada are following me and would definitely be interested in chatting to you about that. So what would be the best way for people to get a hold of you, and if they're interested in having a seminar, an Ash Williams seminar at the...
Basically, I'm kind of like a one-man amateur band, just shoot me a message on Instagram, and I haven't got a manager or nothing. I just do everything myself and just go back and forth. I went to South Africa last year, and a guy messaged me saying, "Oh, do you want to come to South Africa to teach jiu-jitsu?" And I was like, "Man, I think this guy's playing me. There's no way someone in South Africa knows who I am, and there's no way they're paying for me to fly to South Africa to teach jiu-jitsu." And then he hooked me up with his PA, and they booked me a flight ticket. And then when I told people I was going to South Africa, they were like, "Oh, bro, do you know it's dangerous there?" And I was like, "Is it? I don't know." And they're like, "Have you video called this guy or anything?" And I was like, "No." All I knew was I was going to South Africa and doing jiu-jitsu. And they were like, "You've not met him or anything?" I was like, man, his WhatsApp is a photo of his kids. He's got to be a good guy, And people were like, "You're an absolute moron, man. You could get them. They just rob you at gunpoint." And I was like, it is what it is. You just got to take the opportunities when they come, So, yeah, I watched a TV program essentially about people traveling across Canada, and I could not believe how beautiful your country was. And, if jiu-jitsu can get me there, then I'd love to come up to Canada.
Yeah, man, I think you would love it, man. I think you would love a little trip to Canada. So I think it'd be great to make it happen. I'd love to see you in Nova Scotia and have you at my gym. So, yeah, thank you too much of your time. I thought it'd just be cool to chat a little bit and learn a little bit more about you and just hear a little bit more about your story. So thanks a lot, Ash. I really appreciate the time, and I'm really excited to see you compete this weekend.
Hey, no worries. I appreciate it, man. Anytime, I've got all the time in the world for anyone.
Right on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so
Good
much.
luck. Good night.
Bye.